Okay, so very good afternoon. You can sit down already. Can sit down, yeah. So happy Vesak Day. Happy Vesak Day to everyone. I believe you all know it's Vesak Day, that's why you come to temple, right? But just to see a show of hands, how many of you consider yourself to be Buddhist? Okay, so yeah, so there's non-Buddhist, never mind. So I will try to explain this Vesak Day. How many of you consider yourself to be Theravada Buddhist? Any Mahayana Buddhists here? Who Vajrayana Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism? Who Chapalang one? Anything one? Anything Buddhism? Okay, all right. So we have some people here. So Vesak Day commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and passing away of the Buddha. So 3 events, 3 in 1. 3 in 1. Yeah, 3 in 1. So it's 3 different activities, but may not be on the same exact date each time. Yeah? But we kind of clump together, 3 events in 1. So for the birth story, who have bathed the baby Buddha already? Only 2 persons, 3. The rest never bathed the baby Buddha. So it was believed that in the past, there were many other Buddhas also. Normally I use PowerPoint presentation, but no PowerPoint. I use this background. This background is the best PowerPoint. So if you look at the top row of this mural, you see many tiny Buddhas, right? Many tiny Buddhas. So in Buddhism, we believe there are many Buddhas. Many Buddhas. But at each time, there can only be one Buddha in one universe. And how does a Buddha appear? How does a Buddha appear? Only when a person cultivate and perfect all their qualities. They perfect all their virtue, their wisdom, their concentration, everything. So perfect. And they have a special place to wait. So we believe they wait in this special heaven called this Tusita heaven. Tusita heaven. Chinese they call Dou Shuai Tian, Tusita heaven. So they're queuing up there. They're queuing up there, waiting to come down to the human realm. Coming down to the human realm. So if you look at the second row, the black color row, you see a few Buddhas sitting, right? So we believe that in this eon, in this cycle, in this eon, there are already previously 3 other Buddhas. Previously 3 other Buddhas. And our historical Buddha, this Sakyamuni Buddha, is the fourth Buddha, the one standing here, right? Is the 4th Buddha. So there are 3 Buddhas sitting there already, gone already. And our Buddha is so great. He chose to come down in this particular eon where the human lifespan is about 100 years old, right? Give and take, 100 years old. The past Buddhas have it easy. They come to previous human civilization where human lifespan was few thousand years old. Right, so I know you doubt because of human evolution and whatever, not right? So, so we just take it first by scripture. Anyway, human evolution is, there's some fallacy. Who studied biology here? Anybody? Know a few people? Yeah? So this is just sidetracking. When I was in Secondary school, I took O levels, bio. And at that time, there was this popular show and movie, and we have this X-Men, right? This Hugh Jackman played the Wolverine and whatever not. So I was asking my biology teacher, will humans one day evolve to become mutant, can fly, can do these funny things and stuff like that? And my bio teacher said, no. If you mutate, there's a 99.999% chance it's cancerous. Then you'll die. Yeah, so that's the whole fallacy of evolution. I mean the contradiction of evolution. When they so-called believe that Earth started with small microorganisms, how can it evolve to a complex creature, right? From one maybe micro unicellular organism become a whale, or become a giraffe or stuff like that. In order to change from one species to another, you need to mutate. You need to mutate. So if there's a 99.999% chance it's cancerous and you're going to die, so what's the probability of having it evolve naturally? So the other case study we were taught is for evolution is two butterflies. One maybe white, one maybe black, or one maybe colorful butterfly and one white. So in a snowy environment, all snow, which butterfly would survive better? Yes, very good. White color butterfly can survive better because can camouflage, right? Can camouflage. Then the colorful butterfly can be seen by the predators, then all kind of eaten up. So in terms of evolution by survival of the fittest, the gene pool should be reduced to the non-colorful butterflies. So over time, only many generations later, only white butterflies are left. All the colorful butterflies by right should be eaten or died or whatever. So the gene pool shouldn't increase, right? So the butterfly will still remain as a butterfly, but the butterfly won't evolve and become a dragonfly or become a bird or something else. So that is evolution by survival of the fetus. So your gene pool should shrink and not increase by nature. Okay, so Buddhism had the story of Genesis. Long time ago when Earth was just formed. So you can find this in the Aganya Sutta. There's some interstellar beings called the Abhasara Devas. Then they flew past this Earth. Then they saw this Earth. Okay, looks interesting. They come down and they taste something. After tasting, they cannot fly. So they're stuck on Earth. So these are the first batch of humans. So they are very close to those heavenly beings' lifespan, the first kind of human race. So it is believed that humans have this cycle, human cycle. 80,000 years old will devolve until 10 years old and evolve again back to 80,000 years old. May not be natural evolution through maybe some interference. So now we are at the 100-year era, and it's believed that it will still continue to decline until like 10 years of maximum human lifespan. People can get pregnant at 5 and stuff like that. So that is the some scriptural stuff. Okay. So anyway, our Buddha chose to come at the human lifespan of 100-year era. So he came down, and if you had bathed the baby Buddha, right, he's not a normal human, He can walk 7 steps once he's born. Anybody seen a baby can walk immediately? No, right? So yeah, so he's not so human. Can walk 7 steps, and he can speak. So he can make a declaration that he's the the most spiritual being in the world, and that's his last birth for him. Last birth for him. And his features are so weird that once he returned back home, the king has to employ phrenologists, expert phrenologists, people who can read the facial marks, the bodily marks, and try to figure out what's his future destination. So now some of them came and told the king, okay, he has two possibilities. Either he become a universal king. So this universal king in Buddhist scripture also very interesting. This universal king will own these 7 special treasures. 7 special treasures. And one of these treasures is this 1,000-spoked wheel. 1,000-spoked wheel. So the Indians at that time, especially Indian kings, were so fascinated by the 1,000-spoked wheel. Even King Asoka made the 1,000-spoked wheel, which we model at the new building. 1,000-spoked wheel. So in our scripture, it is described that the 1,000-spoked wheel can travel from continent to conquer territories. Looks like a spacecraft. So anyway, so that is the 1,000-spoked wheel. So that's one of the treasures. So either he become universal king, or he can become a Buddha. Or a Buddha. So of course the father wants him to be a king, right? Whose parents? Anybody parents here? Only a few. Who wants your child to become a monk or a nun? Right? Nobody, right? So, so the father doesn't want, or the parents doesn't want the child to become a monastic. So they shelter him very well, don't let him see suffering, don't let him question any deep, meaningful stuff in life. Just entertain him, fill him up with music, entertainment, dancing, whatever. So it is believed at the age of 16 he got married. At the age of 16 he got married. At the age of 29 he left the palace. He managed to have some sightseeing, then he saw 4 sights. Right, this aging, sickness, death, and a monk. He saw a monk. So India at that time, very interesting. Every religion, I think even in Buddhism, same, will go through decline. So at that time, the so-called popular religion was Brahmanism. So there was one point of time, maybe they were teaching philosophy and stuff like that. But during the Buddha's time, the religion has somehow changed or devolved to the extent purely ritual. Everything is just ritual, sacrifices, animal sacrifices, ritual. Nobody teach anything. So at that time, there was this popular movement called the Shramana movement, Samanas. So people want to find the truth, want to find answers in life. So they go to the forest, go to the cave, meditate, try to find meaning, find answers in life. So that's why the Prince Siddhartha, right, our Buddha, Prince Siddhartha saw a monk. Hey, who is this? In the palace, he saw many priests. But first time he saw a monk. So he questioned, is this the answer to find the meaning of life? How to overcome birth, aging, sickness, and death? So he decided, he left the palace at the age of 29. So he went through, we believe, 6 years of hardship. 6 years of hardship, tried all kinds of different practices. And eventually, he reached enlightenment at the age of 35. So, if you look at that, on your left, this Buddha with like a giant dragon or snake on top of him. So 7 heads is the artist's representation of the 7 factors of enlightenment. 7 factors of enlightenment. And the Buddha spent 45 years teaching. 45 years teaching tirelessly. 45 years teaching. And after he passed away, or before he passed away, he always mentioned, if you want to pay respects to the Buddha, as he was lying down, he was about to pass away, so he lied down. Who have seen the sleeping Buddha image before? Yeah, all seen before. Huh? So before he passed away, he was lying down. Heavenly beings do the same thing. Shower, flower, perfume, rain, and play musical instrument. Same with the birth story. That's why you shower the baby Buddha. So the Buddha told his disciples when he was lying down, about to die, these heavenly beings, shower all these things on him. It is not showing the highest respect. Not showing the highest respect. So Vesak Day, I know you want to shower the Buddha and stuff like that. Yes, fine. But what's in your mind? So the Buddha said the highest honor to the Buddha is to walk the teachings. Walk his teachings. He spent his whole life searching the truth, to find the truth. He wants his disciples to practice and realize the truth. Realize these Four Noble Truths. Realize the Four Noble Truths. Not just one lifetime. Actually, we believe he spent many, many past lives. Many, many past lives searching. So, Jenna was asking who is the Mahayana Buddhist and stuff like that. So I always like to make a joke. Make a joke. We always say, Theravada Buddhists are the Gyasi Buddhists. Gyasi means afraid to die. We don't want to die so many times, right? So we want to quickly reach enlightenment and get out of this rebirth. So Mahayana Buddhists aim for Buddhahood. Mahayana Buddhists aim for Buddhahood. So sometimes they make vow. They wish to liberate all sentient beings first and reach enlightenment last. Yeah, so this is Mahayana vow, Bodhisattva vow. So we call them Gyasu Buddhists. So in order to become a Buddha, they need to die so many times, right? Die, reborn, and learn so many skills in order to become a Buddha. Right? So our Buddha went through many, many lifetimes to search the truth, and he wants his disciples to sort of practice the truth. So this truth is not an exclusive truth. Not only Buddhists can practice. So interestingly, the Buddha taught lots of meditation subjects to different kinds of people. People who believe in divine beings, people who don't believe in divine beings. So what are these so-called reflections? Okay, so we call these 6 recollections. 6 recollections. So for the Buddhists, maybe you all know, think of the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So these are already 3 kinds of meditation objects for exclusively for Buddhists. But for non-Buddhists, we have 3 more. We have things like recollection in your ethics, Sila Nusati. Whatever thing that you do or you refrain from doing that you feel proud, then that you can take up for recollection. Maybe you think that you think that you are very honest. You can keep on thinking of that. Or if it's not yourself, you have a person that you admire, a role model that you admire. Okay, this person very hardworking, very honest, very compassionate. Okay, then you can keep on reflecting on their virtues. You will see a similar pattern. Think of their virtues. Okay, then if a Buddhist were to think of the Buddha's virtues, they think of the good qualities. Psychology, we call this positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. Any good virtue, you repeat and think over and over and over again. You admire, you kind of indirectly aim to kind of follow that path. Follow that path. So you're building up the positive states of mind. Building up positive states of mind. So I covered this Sila Nusati, this your ethics. Then we covered this Chaga Nusati, generosity. If a person practice giving, practice charity, practice generosity, everybody does that. Or Doesn't take any belief system to do that, right? So a person practice generosity, they feel happy. You give something, you become less selfish. You become more and more selfless. You become more and more contented. So every time you think about giving, you feel happy. You keep repeating that incident over and over again. So you kind of maximize or saturate that happiness. Saturate that happiness. So it's the same with all the reflection. You saturate that happiness until the mind goes to saturation point. Then the mind will enter this thing called samadhi, these states of peace, states of concentration, right? So it's a kind of spiritual contentment. Okay, so this is for generosity. Then the last one is for people who believe in divine beings. It can be from the monotheistic faith or polytheistic faiths. We call it Devata Nusati, heavenly beings, right? Recollection of the heavenly beings. So if you know the particular lore, the story of the heavenly being that you kind of worship or pray to, you need to think of their qualities. Actually, most of the people all across the board, even people come to Buddhist temple, they come, they pai and ask for things. Give me 40 numbers. I don't know, whatever you wish for. So it's the opposite of the Buddhist reflection. Buddhist reflection is to think of the virtues of the particular divine being. It's not to ask for things. So instead of reducing selfishness, you're promoting selfishness. You want this, you want that. So it's the opposite of what the religion is trying to teach. So if you want to cultivate the mind, this is the Buddhist way, is to think of the virtues of, can be yourself, can be other beings, people you admire, can be the Buddha, can be the heavenly being that you worship to. Basically think of positive qualities. So not just 1 second, I think of this positive quality. Then later, then I start to daydream again. Think or worry about this, plan about this. So it doesn't work. Doesn't work. So how it works, it's like, ancient people starting fire. They need to take the sticks and they start rubbing and rubbing until you have fire, right? So you need to keep on producing the thought, keep on producing and producing, replaying the positive thought over and over again until the fire starts. The fire starts. It's a good fire. It's not. You don't have to worry about catching fire. So this is the flame of awakening. You get awakened to a spiritual dimension, a spiritual kind of happiness, spiritual kind of truth, spiritual kind of peace. So there's a better option in life. It's not just material happiness, shopping, traveling, eating, or watching entertainment. Yes, all these give you some happiness. But, for example, when COVID restrictions first happened, right? Everybody on lockdown or circuit breaker, a lot of people go crazy, right? Some people even suicidal or whatever. But if you have discovered this alternative source of happiness, no problem. You can tap on this time. You won't get so upset. So that's why sort of monks, right? Supposedly, we go for retreats and isolation. So it's nothing new to us. Nothing new to us. Right? So for those who, let's say, practice 8 precepts or go for the retreats in the monasteries, you're learning to explore this alternative source of happiness. Right? So this is a kind of happiness which will help you in your final exam. You know what's the final exam? Before you pass away. Before you pass away, you cannot travel, you cannot move already. You cannot do what you want. If let's say you're bedridden, you cannot do what you want. Or sometimes, you're on life support, everything cannot see, cannot whatever. So in that particular state, how to find your inner happiness? How to find your inner happiness? So the secret is basically repetition, generate good thoughts. We call this right effort. It's part of the Noble Eightfold Path, right effort. Right? So I don't want to be too technical or too naggy. I only have half an hour. I have 10 minutes left. So I'm going to open the floor to Q&A. Right? So this is the message which hopefully everybody can benefit. Okay, any questions? No questions, all enlightened already. Okay, yes, one at the back. For the mic. Okay. It didn't happen in one day. The Buddhists, or especially our tradition, the Theravada tradition, and also the World Buddhist Council, many decades ago, decided to, okay, let's pick a day to commemorate 3 events. Yeah. So in the other tradition, let's say the Mahayana tradition, the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, they have a holy day for the birthday of the Buddha. They have another holy day for the renunciation day of the Buddha. Another holy day for the enlightenment of the Buddha. Another day for his passing away. So there have many separate dates. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Okay, we have one in the front. Okay, we let the back ask first. Yeah. Okay, what did they taste? Early forms of probably food or plantation on earth, early forms of like algae of plantation, yeah, something they describe as sweet. Yeah. I have no idea what's that. They mention it's sweet, yeah. Okay, hopefully that answers.
What's the lifespan of a Buddha?
Lifespan of a Buddha, very good question. So the Buddha passed away at 80 years old. 80 years old, yeah? Anybody know how did the Buddha pass away?
No.
Huh? Old age, one speculation. Anybody? Okay, yes, food poisoning. Food poisoning. So there are a few factors. Old age could be one of them. Second is this, there's this, we call it demon, we call it Mara. That is Mara in Buddhism. The fella that tried to disturb the Buddha when before he got enlightened. So at the moment, before the Buddha passed away, when he's old and frail and very sick, then this Mara appeared to the Buddha and invited him to leave. Okay, you've lived a long enough age. You've already taught your teachings. You have your you've lived 6 female monastics, male and female lay devotees, lay disciples. You've done your part already. Time to go. Don't enlighten more people, and let time to go. Right. So because actually the Buddha agreed to Mara. Maybe I do not know whether is it intentionally or maybe he was trying to chase off Mara, because Mara was pestering him at the eve of enlightenment. Mara asked him to leave the seat of enlightenment. But the Buddha said, not until he has accomplished all these things, to set up the male monastic order, female monastic order, and stuff like that. So he has accomplished all this. So Mara told him, yes, you've done all this, time to go. So the Buddha, asked him to leave, right? And the Buddha has the ability to actually stretch his lifespan, if there is a request. So his disciple beside him, the attendant, Venerable Ananda, his cousin actually, got a hint from the Buddha. So the Buddha hinted to him, any being who has mastered these 4 bases of psychic power. So the Buddha has some miraculous abilities. So he has mastered these abilities. If he so wish, could extend the lifespan for an eon. So the eon is a very loose term. I do not know how long is this eon. Huh? And he hinted to this Venerable Ananda. But Venerable Ananda didn't get the clue. Many times he hinted. But Venerable Ananda didn't beseech the Buddha to live longer. Never. So the Buddha, okay, so he ate something wrong and he passed away due to food poisoning. So there are many factors, yeah? Yeah, so that's right, food poisoning. Okay, one question at the front. Yeah.
Hi, Phra Goh.
Yes.
My question is, you talked about right effort.
Okay.
So what is the difference between right effort and other eightfold path, like right mindfulness, right concentration? They all seem very similar. So what is the difference?
Okay, very good question. Okay, so right effort, the definition is to uphold wholesome qualities and try to abandon unwholesome qualities. So that's the definition of right effort. So right mindfulness, in Buddhist definition, is to be mindful of the impermanent nature of body, feeling, mind, and the Dharma. Basically, 4 aspects of reality. So for example, if let's say you are to feel your breath, so the physical movement, we call this mindfulness of the body. And if you breathe in, breathe out, sometimes there's pleasant sensation, sometimes uncomfortable. We call this mindfulness of feelings. And then the state of mind, is it scattered all over the place? Are you daydreaming? Is it concentrated? So we call this mindfulness of states of mind. And the last one is the mindfulness of the Dharma, which is the Four Noble Truths. What do you contemplate to create stress and clinging? And what do you contemplate to create detachment? Yeah, so this is the Dharma aspect. So that's the mindfulness part. And concentration is a very deep subject. How to focus in a way the mind is so collected that you're able to release and enter different states of concentration. So the Buddhist terminology, we call it jhanas, and the different levels of jhanas. Yeah, so these are the last 3 of the Eightfold Path. But importantly also, we need to have the first 5, right view, right understanding, right thought, speech, action, livelihood. Sometimes I organize meditation classes. Some people say, I want to have peace. I want to achieve peace. So they come for meditation class. They want to sit, okay, I want to achieve peace. Then once they step outside the class, then they start to behave hanky-panky again, start to curse and swear, start to tell lies, start to do all kinds of rubbish. So it doesn't help in achieving peace. It's just like, for example, you want to talk about physical health and fitness. A person can claim to go to a gym for, I don't know, a few hours, exercise. But once they step out of the gym, unhealthy habits again, maybe abuse the body and take all kinds of junk food and that kind of stuff. So very similar, yeah. So the Eightfold Path is supposed to be a holistic package. So you are supposed to, by right, help improve the behavior with meditation and also using behavior to help improve the meditation. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, one at the back.
You mentioned the last part that in order when we are bedridden, we should have positive feedback and thoughts. Do you have any advice in that state? How should we have positive thoughts?
Okay, how to have positive thoughts? So we need to actually practice when we are still alive and well. We don't wait until the last moment where we start to not sure whether we can hear clearly or not, then start to invite, or your relatives start to invite priests and religious clergy over to try to help you give instructions. A bit too late for that. So we believe when you're still alive and well, we practice. So in times of crisis, we can apply. So every small crisis we meet along the way are like small tests to see how well we cope with the situation. Do we get agitated? Do we get frustrated easily? So it's a benchmark. Yeah. Okay, any other? Okay, one more question.
Is a Buddha mostly male or female?
Pardon?
Is a Buddha male or female?
Is the Buddha male or female? Okay, so scripturally it's mentioned the Buddha is male. Yeah, so he started the male Sangha. He lived amongst the male Sangha. So physically he's male. But if you want to talk about the state of mind, anybody can achieve enlightenment. Male or female can achieve enlightenment. Yeah. Okay. Any last question? I need to make a move already. No? 3, 2, 1. Okay, sold. Okay, all right. So let's go. Okay, thank you very much for your time.